Good evening. Bessie, what do you got going on? You seem to... You seem to be having a good, Monday night? Holy crap! Dude, are you able to get, like, saline spray? Or whatever it's called? Maybe it's just an America thing that we just have drugs that you can buy so easily over the counter. Oh, music is dead. Okay. Oh, music. There we go. Hey, OMS! I have no idea what that means. Is it like your sinuses, right? Because that's where you breathe from. Obviously, I had a busy weekend. I wasn't here on Friday, and I wasn't home over the weekend. But I did get some work done on Thursday, and then also on... what other day? Let's see, Sunday evening, and then a little bit of today. Let me go ahead and show off what I've done. I got like the hiccups at the worst time. So, built out a little bit more of the school here. I added the windows. There's also going to be some lighting that I'll bake in. What's it called? It's called a skylight. Do I not have one? I could have sworn I had one. Directional light, actually. Oh, do I not have... I thought maybe I deleted it. I placed a skylight to test to see if like I can get good-looking reflections off of the windows. Let's go ahead and do that again. We add this. Change this to like a dark blue for moonlight. And then change its direction so it's like that. Change it to like a 1. And then these aren't casting shadows. Why are these not casting shadows? They should be. Mela! How are you doing? I've been feeling a lot better though, but I've never been as sick as I was not since getting chicken pox. Your interest group? Oh, what are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. How have you been, Mela? How was your weekend? I don't know why this isn't casting shadows. Maybe because it's like one-dimensional? And it doesn't like that? Oh, it's because it's a normal map. Hold on. Shadow two-sided. There we go. Man, I hope that's not gonna cost a lot of rendering, but let's select all of our walls, and let's see if I can... You sleepy, going to bed so early sometimes. You miss the Ren stream. Well, thank you, thank you. Your streams are always fun, so hopefully I can provide a little bit of that also. We're just going to quickly test this. I'm going to have to turn it off almost immediately, because I have a feeling shadowing two-sided is going to take a lot of juice. Okay, and it's these that I don't want to cast shadows. And it looks like this one I just want it to cast no shadows. And again, I'm probably going to have to change this shortly. Cast shadows is false. And then Cast shadows false on these ones too, I'm guessing. And then we kind of have like this moonlight effect. There's a little bit of scuff right there. But that's the idea. Get a little bit of depth going on. Those will have to be baked in, unlike the rest of the lighting that we've got. Are you feeling the pressure now the Halloween? Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, ooh, am I actually going to be able to get this done in time? The answer is hopefully. I have a lot of this weekend free. I'm knocking on wood because hopefully no one tries to take my weekend away. Next Friday stream isn't the Alan Wake 2 DLC. You're going to be slightly upset. What is next Friday? Is that Halloween Day? Oh, I typed in Friday as if it knew what I was talking about on Google. Calendar. Oh, yeah, that is the 31st. Yikes. Yikes. I will say, Halloween night will not be Alan Wake. If I stream, I have something in mind. But, ooh, yeah. Sorry about that. It'll happen. It'll happen. I'll try to make it happen. 15 teas in one day. Nice. Let me unhide the school. I'm going to work a little bit on getting... I think we can get the hallways done today. Maybe redo the door. Maybe build some of these classrooms and just copy-paste a bunch. I don't know if I want to do a lot of programming today. Because I'm still kind of sleepy from the long weekend I just had. Where is my school mesh? There it is. That wasn't it. Wait, what? Will I do a face reveal but in a costume? Oh no. What I was planning to do for a costume for my friend's Halloween party is just like get a pumpkin at Walmart because they're like $5, and then just carve a face into it and cut out the underside and just put it on top of my head. Simple, classic, dare I say funny? I think I will. Also, why is this... Where did my school mesh go? This is definitely it. Oh, it's hidden in-game. There we go. Ooh, ignore that, ignore that. It's fine. It's fine as long as you don't look at it for too long, okay? Promise you. Too bad they don't make those plastic costumes anymore. Whoa, wait, what do you mean? What plastic ones? Like a plastic Halloween or like plastic pumpkin costume? Was that a thing and I just missed out on it my whole life? Actually, let's start on this side so we can get some symmetry going here. I might have to like make a special cutout for these double doors. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. These ones are actually wrong. These need to be the short version. You know what? That reminds me of Mela. Hold on, let's see. McDonald's. There it is. Do you guys Remember these bad boys? That's right. I had these. When I grew up, you were the coolest kid in school if you had one of those popcorn buckets. Oh, let's see. What'd you put? Oh my god, yes. I have older siblings, and we had just a whole box of so many of these. We had, like, Goku and whatever the guy from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is called. I forgot his name. Is it Yugi? I don't know if his name is Yugi. It might be. I'm sorry, I'm a fake Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. Let's rotate this. Like, every so often, Mela, I try to purposely bait myself into having some kind of, like, Halloween nostalgia of, like, the 90s. Just because it's such a vibe that we don't see anymore. And I feel bad that, like, current generation doesn't get it. Not that they don't understand it, get it, but, like, get it as in, they don't get the same cool stuff we did. All sweaty and gross. I was like 8 and would be high off the plastic fumes at the school. Peak Halloween costume used an old broken vacuum cleaner in a backpack. Oh, I definitely had a Luigi Mansion costume too at one point in my life. Kids these days. I just hope that they have their own memories. They have their own, like, thing that they can look back fondly on. It's just like a lot of what I think really represented, like, the Halloween vibe was just everything was Halloween, from, like, cereal boxes to TV shows. But now that everything is, like, on demand in YouTube, you really don't have, like, shows having Halloween specials anymore, because it's not really a timed thing anymore. I'd say the closest you might get is, like, streamers playing more Halloween games and horror games around this time of year. But I mean, if you're not in the, you know, the streamer bubble, you kind of miss out on that vibe. I keep copying and pasting, but it's not actually doing it. And I don't know if it's... I'm not trying hard enough on the C button, or if I'm just making a duplicate, but it's going to the Twilight Zone. I still have the hat from that. It's hung up on a shelf as part of my memorabilia collection. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've got a collection of just nostalgia stuff, too. Like, kids these days have it so easy. You can just go to a Spirit Halloween and buy a Luigi costume. When I was a kid, I had to use just, like, a baseball cap that I spray painted green. There's so many indie horror demos out right now, I can't keep up. They all drop at the same time. And here I am, gonna drop a game after Halloween. You gotta subvert expectations. That's how you get them. That's how you get them. Okay, so now that I've done this, I can do it a smart way. Check this out. Now I can do 3 at a time. But wait. If you can believe it, there's more. 6 at a time. And, okay, I don't need to do 6 at a time again. But we'll keep it up. Are we old now? I'm feeling old. I've felt old. Like, as soon as the TikTok generation blew up, and I didn't understand the humor, it was just like an internal, like, despair cry for help. It's like, oh no. I get it now. You should release your indie horror the same day as RE9. Drop it on Christmas. I need something to play then. That'd be funny. I do want to, like, work on it a little bit more past Halloween. I know I said it'd be ready by Halloween, and I still am going to stick to that as best I can. But, it's not going to be its in its full glory at that point, I'm afraid to say. Oh no, what's up with this clipping? Okay, hold on. I've got an idea. Nice. I'm 24 or something. I would definitely play your game over other things. I spent money on that Remedy bundle. My budget is out. To be fair, I'm just not a Little Nightmares fan to begin with. Like, I respect the art style. I like the like everything that the game does. But it's just the game doesn't do anything for me. Not that I'm trying to hate on the game in any way. Like, nothing but respect for it. All the way. Oh man, this is not lined up in the slightest. Hold on. I might have to cheat here a little bit. If this was my main game, I would like obsess over every tiny detail of like, oh, it's not lined up perfectly. I need to fix it. But I've long surpassed that point for this game. I'm at a point where it's like, if it's good enough, it's good enough. There we go. Like, if I may, I would say so far this is looking better than Ban. Maybe? Anyone? Yeah? I really am trying to also use all of my own assets. It's a little bit more time consuming than I think I initially had planned for it to be, which is why the schedule slipped more than I initially claimed it would. But as soon as I kind of figured out how to do it and started having fun making my own stuff, that's kind of when I committed to doing more of it. And I think that that's something that a lot of indie developers now are too intimidated, I think I would say, to do. Because it is time consuming. You have to learn essentially an entire new type of art just to be able to, you know, make the world of your game, and you still have all the coding and stuff to do on top of that. Quantum Break is so cool. It's not that good, but it's really cool. It has 20 to 30 live action sections between chapters. The name sounded familiar, but I don't know too much about Quantum Break. I'd still say the game I'm probably looking forward to most is Requiem. That and the remake of Silent Hill 1. That looks... Or, at least from what I know of Silent Hill 1 OG, Silent Hill 2 remake, I feel like is going to be a banger. The vibe thing. Oh, hold on. Okay. So now comes the part where I didn't like plan the spacing out in any way, shape, or form. So I'm just kind of like smudging it a little bit and hoping no one notices. Ooh. Yikes. Alright, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Check this out. Boom. No one will notice that that one's a little bit bigger. But brought amazing concepts and ideas, but is brought down by gameplay and other details. There's a lot of games that I've felt fit that. Description. And Quantum Break sounds like a AAA studio. I can't remember what AAA game, though, or what AAA studio disappointed me like that recently. Could just be not thinking hard enough. It's like that meme of, do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? Like, I would say Silent Hill disappointed me like that. Visage disappointed me like that. I feel like a lot of horror games try to, like, do too much, when in reality, some of the best horror games do just enough. You don't need to be the next Alan Wake. You just need to be fun. And oddly enough, I think Ban got to the point where they understood that. People will not notice the wall being stretched by 10%. Good. When you guys play it, you'll know. Oh, Mela, if you're still here, by the way, one of the things I was trying to do is... Oh, let me pull this up. Let me pull up the reference I was using. I'm using this image of a school as a reference for my hallway, and so I made this poster board, or this cork board, and I'm trying to, like, fill out things and flyers to put on there. So I had asked if anyone in the community wanted to, like, make a fake school flyer, and as long as it's, like, copyright free and I have final veto power, then we'll throw it in here. It's like a fun little Easter egg. Also, Basti, I might have to replace these images because Google Images are not copyright free. Not that it'll be a problem technically with this. I'm sure it would be fine, but I would like to, like, mitigate as much as I can with this. Did you see your new one? I did. It was in crap. What was it? It was in art, right? First Aiders. I don't I don't know if I'll go with that one, but I'll come up with something. Because I do like that. What is this? Pog. I've heard that horror games can get away with being very short as opposed to other games. Yeah. I mean, the best example... Hold on. Let me look this up. Is this... I think, like, this is, by the way, this is kind of partly where my inspiration for this game came from. This is a book that I bought from, like, the Scholastic Book Fair back when I was a kid, and it's just a bunch of short stories. Like, this is, like, 3 pages long, and it's, like, font size, what, 14? The thing with horror stories is that they've, like, historically been super short. And that's all you need to pack a punch. Like, this is super popular. Like, in at least American culture I know of. Like, they're not even that good, but they're just, like, memorable and fun. But when you try to, like, make a 14, book novel... I think that's kind of when things start to get diluted a little bit. It's obviously going to, not that every story has to be short and small. I think there are plenty of examples of games that do it big and do it really, really well, even with a small team. But especially for indie developers starting out, I always would recommend, like, stay small. Don't make my mistake. Because boy, oh boy, have I done the thing that I'm preaching against. Scary stories to tell in the dark, yes. The illustrations always creeped me out. Let me show you my favorite one. Hold on. Where is it? This one. This one was so good. The story itself was okay. But this was such a good story. Or such a good drawing. Imagine being like a middle schooler and you're at your school book fair for Halloween and you open up the book to a random page and you just see that. You buy that book instantly. No questions asked. Also, hold on. There was also something else I wanted to look up. I don't know if this is on Steam. Okay, no. It looks like it's only on itch. Every year, there's this one streamer I watch, and every year they play this game on Halloween, and I think it would be a fun idea. Essentially, you carve a pumpkin, and then you place it in a world, and it's like... Not open world, but like... It's lobby-based, and you can just, like... Everyone can join in at one time. And you can see, like... Each other's pumpkins, and you can, like... Hang out as ghosts and take... Well, there it is. You can, like, hang out as ghosts with each other and just take photos. I think that would be fun. So this is what I might do for Halloween. It's also free. I usually don't recommend... I don't recommend people download and run executables on itch.io. I do know that this one, as far as I've seen, is safe. I have it myself and I've played it before. But generally speaking, especially if you're new to like the internet or using computers or just downloading things, I would advise not to just download every executable off itch.io and run it, because they don't always get scanned. So just a safety precaution, computer security tip. If you know what you're doing, then, you know, it's not an issue. but to those that don't. One idea I had was to make a horror story reminiscent of the stories of the... Oh, that would be cool. The Brothers Grimm. One of the stories involved a cat and mouse, and I found it to be an interesting concept. Will Shrek be in it? Is Shrek a Grimm Brothers story? Oh, wait, he is, right? Because, like, didn't he kill the princess in the original? Or something like that? You have no clue. Thank you. Ooh, this is, like, off? Oh, it's... Ooh, that's a simple fix. Simple as can be of a fix. Boom. That's about right. Well, I like to think modern Shrek in the most dark or horrific story. Is Shrek public domain? Like, if it's actually a Grimm Brothers story, then it has to be, right? But I'm not convinced because people definitely would have hopped on that like they did with Winnie the Pooh. This is devolving again, like the time we did the Harry Potter quiz. Oh, 1990. Okay. Oh, that's right. It was a book. But, like, not like a... Ah, I got you. That I remember. I remember seeing the clip of the Shrek movie based on his original, like, drawing. And they hated it so much that they redid it, and it was just all the better for it. Alright, let's see how this looks. Boom. Oh, we're missing half a wall. And some lights. Okay, simple fix. 2073, it's ours. Oh no. Do you think the first like public domain Shrek movie is gonna be horror? Or is it gonna be spicy? I feel like it's a toss-up between either one, right? Spicy horror? Oh no. Gosh, I can't imagine what the internet is going to be like in 2073. Like, think about how drastically memes have changed in the past 5 years alone. Imagine, like, what, 20 years from now or so, whatever the hell that is. Spicy brain rot horror. Like, what is 2073 brain rot gonna be like, though? That's the question. Anyone know if I can rotate these things based on their individual axis? Like, how do I do that? Like, I want to multi-select it and just do this. But I don't want to just do that a bunch of times, if that makes sense. probably doesn't, but I'm asking anyway. The low taper fade meme will still be massive. Oh, I don't know, dude. I think you're overestimating the attention span of this generation. Can you group select? Yeah, I can, but the issue when I group select is that it treats it like one whole object. Like this. Rather than, you know, however many individuals. Because something like that is what I want to do. But, like, multiple times. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I'll just do the manual. I can yap in the meantime. It's kind of zen. This kind of reminds me of, like, the Scooby-Doo doors, like the secret ones. Is that show still going on? Is it any good? Like, what's new with Scooby-Doo? You see what I did there? You like the doorway? Thank you. You can also group objects with Control G. It treats multiple objects as one, but can be reversed. I think we talked about that before, but I want the opposite, I think. Where we treat multiple groups of objects as individual ones. In Blender, you can do it. You can, like, rotate based on individual axis or something like that. I forgot what it was called. Be so mad if you walked into that. Melly, you ever do an escape room? Those are fun. A couple weekends ago, I did a horror-themed one, and it was really cool. Yeah, they're so fun. I need to do more. The ones that I've been to have been sick because they've like, they use like Arduinos, which are like microcomputers or technically microcontrollers, so that like you hold a lantern up to a wall and then like things start getting scratched into the wall as the lantern is being held up to it. Like shit like that. I've heard that some escape rooms are just like, oh, you found a key under the carpet. Yay! You found the carpet key. It goes to the carpet door. I'd love to make an escape room. I mean, I guess that's what video games are, but they're just digital. And I get more control over what the players can and cannot do. But still. The vibe is the same. The carpet key, yes. Also, hi, Maddie. How you doing? I got the carpet key. You got to the carpet key escape rooms? Oh, no. Not the carpet key escape rooms, dude. I didn't copy and paste, which is the mistake I made. I should have just done a... There we go. Oh, also, Windows tip, for those of you that aren't familiar, I talk about this all the time, but it's one of the more useful things. You can have multiple things copied. So, obviously, many of you know Control-C, Control-V, but when you're copying something, or, excuse me, when you're pasting something, if you don't use Control V, but you use Windows V, it pulls up this. And it keeps a list of the past, like, 20 things that you've copied. And you can just select it. Like here, even in Unreal Engine, it recognizes that I copied an Unreal Engine actor, and it places it in the world for me. It obviously will work for things like text and stuff too. But you have to enable it. So the very first time, it'll ask you, do you want to turn it on? And you say yes. But probably the most helpful Windows shortcut I've ever learned. Such a fun concept to stream. I've never watched someone build a video game. Well, welcome. You've chosen the wrong one. I'm still relatively new to a lot of this, but I'm a programmer, so I didn't mean to delete all those. So I have a lot of like the back-end experience. So what I've done in the past streams is write the code for it. So like this character code here. And then I've slowly been trying to learn how to make art and stuff. So all of these walls, all the textures and stuff, this is me. I've been slowly like piecing together how to do animations, how to get lighting done correctly. And then anytime I'm trying to like come up with puzzles and stuff, I constantly go back and forth with the people in the chat room on, hey, how do you feel about this idea? And they usually give really good feedback. This is another instance where I didn't copy and paste. So I'm going to have to do this again. Whenever I watch horror movies... Oh, hold on. I've missed a few of these. I thought when I went to an escape room once, but it turned out I'd just been Oh. Whenever I watch horror movies, I just say this wouldn't happen. You never leave the house. You know what? Respect. You guys need to stop getting kidnapped. Stranger danger. I'm just really kidnappable. That's up great work. Thank you. I appreciate it. One of the concepts behind this, too, is that I want it to be as accessible as possible. Because I know that not a lot of people have PCs to play PC games with. And so, if any of you are familiar with Unreal Engine, by the way, you'll notice this is an old version of it. And the reason I'm using an old version of Unreal Engine, if we do this, is because this version specifically lets me run it on web browser. Which means that when it's done, if people want to play it, they don't need to download anything. They don't need to pay for anything. They can just click the link and then like immediately start playing it. So I want it to be as accessible as possible. We either pool our brain power together for the betterment of game development, or we talk about Shrek. Yeah, it's usually one of those. If I'm doing something tedious, they just kind of... It's like with kids, you gotta constantly jingle the colorful car keys in front of their face to keep their attention going. But if you don't do that, then they just start talking about Shrek and Harry Potter. Sometimes at the same time. I'll have to check this out. Wednesday is your next stream. Yep. So every Wednesday and Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Right now it's 7:47. I usually go for about 3 hours each stream. I also will stream later into the evening on Fridays, just easier for the EU people. Ignore the llamas there. That's normal. If anyone here happens to have a Discord and you'd like to join, the bot in here will update the schedule to your local time zone, so you don't have to figure that out manually. But honestly, the easiest way is just follow the channel. If you happen to be looking for something to watch and I happen to be live, you'll likely get recommended this. You're always welcome here. Always welcome to chat. Always fun just to have people hang out. Even once Halloween is done, I do have a bigger game that I'm working on. So if any of you aren't familiar, I've been working on a much larger game that's also a horror game for a couple of years now, but I really wanted something to drop for Halloween, and that game wasn't even close to having a demo ready for it yet. So what I did is I cut out pieces of it, and then am kind of making it into its own small little side story anthology thing. The inspiration being the stories from like Are You Afraid of the Dark or Twilight Zone, where it's just standalone. You don't really need to know anything about the story. You don't need to get too invested. It's just meant to be like a short, fun 15 to 20 minute experience to celebrate one of the best seasons of the year. You know, recently I watched A Haunted House 1 and 2. Is that a movie? And 50 Shades of... Oh. They're absolutely great spoof movies if you've heard of them. I'm here to make sure pianos are in the game are playable. They are. Hold on. This puzzle... We'll go ahead and do this. The lighting here is still kind of messed up. I need to... Ooh. I'm no carpenter. I do, however, know that floors are kind of an important thing to have. Just do that. And these little, like, benches here are just placeholders. I didn't have time to put new ones in yet. The reason this looks half-built is because there was, like, this outer framework that I had built, and then I decided to go against it because it's heavier on the processor. You can see it's already freaking out about it. But, oh, let's... I did actually hide it. Hidden in-game. This is what we were talking about last week. We're trying to... Hidden in-game. Yes. Please. Why is it... Huh? Am I clicking... Oh, I clicked on the plane. Shoot. Hold on, I need to undo a couple times. There we go. And then I also want to turn off my flashlight because it makes the lighting kind of messed up. It's 9:47 Central past my bedtime, but I'll try to catch you next stream. Super intrigued by the idea. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you dropping by. Definitely prioritize sleep. I have to remind some people in here about that from time to time. But sleep is important, I know. Believe me. And if you're on YouTube, these VODs are always saved after the fact. So if you watch like the first half, and then you want to watch the rest later, you can pick up right where you left off. Mela, while you're here, we were discussing the piano puzzle and potential spoilers for the piano puzzle. But that's really the only good way I can get feedback since the puzzle isn't done yet and people can't playtest it, which is really what I wanted to be at this point. But again, kind of running behind a little bit. Where we're going, we don't need floor. Stand by for technical difficulties. Horror games don't scare me, but you know what does? Me knowing that in 2 years I'll be learning how to... Ooh, rough. Okay, this. The idea is that... So, like, if you listen to this part... So the song will, there would be like 2 more lines of this, but the song will eventually repeat itself, and there'll be a part where it's quiet, and there'll be some kind of visual indication there on the left. I don't have my mouse pointer in this view. But the idea is that you need to repeat the pattern of colors on this keyboard here. Oh crap, I pressed the button that broke it again, hold on. One of the buttons, like, kicks me out of the game, and I don't remember which one it is. Older reference, I don't think anyone else for that. Oh yeah, someone got a hold of their mother's YouTube account. Yeah, if anyone's underage here, they get banned instantly. YouTube's also really good with that. I think more so than Twitch. For those of you that aren't aware, you're only allowed to have a YouTube account if you're 13 or older. So anyone I find out that is under that, no matter how long you've been here, you're going away. Sorry. Oh, I messed up. Oh no. So that's the idea, is that you're meant to like repeat the pattern of colors, and the pattern will stay on the screen. But Raphael and I were talking about this back and forth, and there was a concern that it might be too much to try to memorize or too much to try to input. Especially since, even though the window is forgiving to input it, it's still a lot. And there's no punishment for failure here particularly, but it kind of keeps going. And the fear is that it might just get frustrating at a certain point. Be careful saying that even as a joke, Basti. I know Twitch will straight up ban your account, and if you want to get it back, you have to show them your ID. They have like auto detection for that. If you say I'm X years blank. So heads up, don't even say it as a joke, because they're on top of it all the time. Pianist will be the new target demographic. Are those real notes? They are. You won't need to know them, it's just color coordinated. At least you blurred the bars, yeah. So we zoom in a little bit here. The idea that Raph and I were talking about is swapping which bars are the part that players play, and then having it to be where the much shorter ones are what the player is expected to do, rather than the ones that go up and down a bunch. Even though in the song, it sounds better when there's the silence in that part. So if we open up Audacity here, and we go to, I think, this second part. I feel like that sounds better, as that's where the silence is and that's where the quietness is, as opposed to, I think it would be this. So it's like this part would be silent and then this plays. I don't know. I would have to make a version that replaces those. Otherwise, I don't think I'll have the best idea of it. That part is busy. Okay. For the record, I have no problem with the current system personally. I'm a Guitar Hero mega nerd. Just no. I'm not criticizing your feedback by any means. I think it is good feedback. Is my copy paste not working? What's going on here? There we go. Would you be able to program it to alternate which one plays? You mean like have two different options, like a difficulty? Like if you do hard puzzle difficulty, it would do one versus the other? Because I could. And it wouldn't take a long time, but it would take time away from other things I want to try to get done before Halloween. Because I was thinking the exact same thing, if that's what you're talking about. Because I do think I would like to continue working on this at least a little bit after the holiday's over. Just to really like flesh it out and make it something fun and worthwhile to play. Even if it's not going to be like that on day one. Bro, look what YouTube's AI is telling me to make videos on. Well, that's on you. You're the you got a lot of Poppy playtime on your channel. Do you know that to this day, week to week, you want to know my most viewed video is weekly? Do you want to know? Allow me to demonstrate. Any guesses, by the way, before as I pull this up? Where can I find this? Analytics? Let me make sure I'm not showing anything sensitive on this page. It's the stupid FNAF 2 opening cinematic. Every week, it gets like an insane amount of views. Okay, last week my Silent Hill YouTube short killed it. But shorts generally get more views in a shorter period of time. But this, I will never live this down. And I'm not going to private it because it keeps bringing attention to the channel. And hopefully some people who come looking for that see other horror game stuff. And hopefully maybe it broadens their horizon. Who knows? Who knows? I had all things from Guitar Hero, drums, lights, fog machine, good times. I had to socialize in your younger years. I played in a band in high school. I guess not a band, it was a concert that I did. The other guitar players. I haven't played guitar in so long, though, that I doubt that I could do it again. It's one of those things where it's like, if you don't constantly keep it up and you don't really have the passion for it, it's really easy just to lose sight of that. I'm sick. A random FNAF fan will join the fate. In 16 years, a random FNAF fan will join the fan base. See, that's the other thing too, Mela. Like, my nails are usually very short because, you know, guy. But even if they're like a centimeter or so long, it feels weird to hit the, you know, the strings with it. It's like I can't properly get it pushed down all the way. It's annoying. Lazy? Who you calling lazy? Oh, okay. You called yourself lazy. I was like, you throwing shade? I can play a little bit of piano, just not very well also. I'm thinking of starting a band. Why not? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always fun to play instruments. Power chords, basic riffs. I'm not great at guitar, not enough time. Drums I thought would be an easy instrument to play. And then I tried playing them. And I realized that it was more than just smashing, you know, the drum thing. Whatever it's called. I guess it's just called a drum, isn't it? And boy was I shocked to realize that, oh no, there's a door here. Oh no, and it's like in the worst possible position. Okay, hold on. You now exist here. And we're gonna take one of you. And we're going to put it... Where are we going to put you? Put you right here. Oh no. Go. Nice. Problem solved. Mom made you play piano? Did any of it stick? Play with Omadra Online as previously stated. You have the stupid music box stuck in your head. Bought a piano and barely touched it. Just learn how to play the Minecraft intro music. I would recommend, if you're interested even in the slightest, like a MIDI keyboard rather than a piano. Because it's just fun to have. You can connect it to like Muse Score or a bunch of different like apps. And they're usually cheap, so it's not a huge initial investment like a piano is, or an actual like Casio keyboard. I have to get going. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for dropping by, Zach. Good to see you. Son plays the Minecraft song over and over again. It might sound like he's going insane, but that's just how you get good at a particular song. Like, best example, like when you're working on something, you hear it over and over again, and like by the time you're done, you're just desensitized. Like, this doesn't sound like a song to me anymore. Anyway. And then it gets to a point where it's like, well, does it actually sound good? Because I can't tell anymore. Basti, what kind of a question is that? Holy shit. Hey, Jessica, good morning. It was just funny, wasn't it? It's like, you have family? You have children? I don't know, it just caught me off guard. Sometimes I forget that people on the internet are people, you know? Even the guy in the Lo-Fi Girl channel was laughing. He thought it was funny too. Earlier he look, they've questioned worse about me. They're uncontrollable. As much as I try. Is your chat like that too? Or is it just these guys? Did you watch Interstellar? No. I'm sorry. I know I've disappointed you, but it's not free on YouTube anymore. You're a guy. If I ever blow up, all of these VODs are getting blown away. I'm sure there's plenty in here that could be cancelable in 2073. I'm not taking that risk. How's the process? It's going okay. Ooh, I forgot the rainbow color. Ignore all of the visual bugs. It's a feature. You ever play a Bethesda game? They do it all the time. People with lore and storylines and characters development, it's crazy. I just stare at the wall until something happens. How you doing, Jessica? Good to see you again. Good to see you. These past couple of streams have just been How am I gonna do this? I've just been trying to build the school out a bit. Because for the longest time, when people drop by and they ask, "Oh, what of your game can you show me right now? It's gonna be done in less than 2 weeks, right?" And all I have is like the half-baked piano thing. Ooh, low confidence. Low confidence when that's all I've got to deliver. But if it's a bunch of empty hallways that look cool, then I'm cooking, you know? Spooky piano simulator. Exactly, exactly. In this game, you mean? Ooh, let me tell you, haven't started. How long we? Oh, we're only an hour in. Are you sure you will finish the game in time? Surely I will. But to be real, there is a potential, there is a universe in which it won't be. There's still like a minimal viable product. I think I can make it like to where it is base playable. But it won't be like that vision I had. Then I'll likely keep working on it after Halloween. And then when it gets to a point where I'm satisfied enough with it is when I'll swap back over to Return. But I had a busy weekend this last weekend, and then I have a free weekend coming up that I'm hopefully gonna try to exploit as much as I can. I think the issue is when I started it, I just didn't have a good workflow or work habits with this. And eventually I started getting into just like a better overall schedule and mindset. And so I'm more consistently getting more and more done. But it's kind of like at the point where time is running out a bit. You're 11 days away and you haven't started. I know what she'll look like. She'll look like Lisa from Silent Hill 1, hopefully. I don't know if I can make something that looks like that. You know what? We can even spend a little bit of time trying tonight. What's the main game you're working on? I thought this was the main game. No, so, I can understand how you might be confused because, boy, am I amazing at, coming up with names for my game. This game is called Recollections of the Desolate, which the acronym for it, which is what I've been referring to it as, is ROTTED, R-O-T-D. My main game is called Return on This Day, which, as you might have noticed, has the same acronym. So long story short, they're the same, they're like part of the same game, but split up into different games. Yeah. Yeah. He's really bad at naming things. Hey, Green, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I don't know how long you've been here. I was talking to YouTube, and it's not always easy for me to see Twitch chats. But they are side by side. I'll have you know that I am just, in fact, blind. Are they set in the same world, too? Yes. Just merge them together? That's not a bad idea. Like, just import this into the Unreal Engine 5 version. And then just kind of have it as a sub-chapter. Because that's really what it is. It's kind of like Fears to Fathom has, like... Fears to Fathom is the name of the game, but then there's all these sub-chapters that get released individually. Or same with Poppy Playtime, or... There's a bunch of games that do it. I mean, that obviously wasn't the intention from the beginning, but it was just like the timelines weren't working well, and I wanted to get something out that was playable, and so I just kind of gutted what existed of the base game and turned it into this. Even if you didn't reach your goal, you're finishing before Halloween, there is still Christmas. I can just change the thumbnail to say I have until Christmas to finish a horror game. The other thing I was potentially gonna do is just do one of these. Classic. And then we just start counting up. The name part in character creation adds 3 hours of gameplay for me in any game. Also, I don't do well in tests either. Throw one together and add a bunch of cheap jump scares and I'll play it. That's like 90% of the games you stream. It seems like that's your calling. I don't know. I've never really been a huge fan of cheap jump scares. I think the last one that I thought was good was probably FNAF. And then after that, I was like, okay, like, I think I've had enough of this. Yeah, pretty much. Your symbol. Look, I can respect it. Oh no, I can already tell this is gonna be a pain. Okay. I can get this to work, I swear. 75 hours on character creation only for a character to die in a crash on day 2. Oh no, is that like a reference I'm too much of a non-gamer to know about? Surely no one's going to notice that this is stretched out a little bit, right? Surely not. Okay, I need to start getting those individual pieces over here too. All the way down there. I'll say we're making good time. There have definitely been streams where it's like, all right, we're gonna be doing this and this today, and then it's like we take the Harry Potter quiz for 2 hours, and then that's all that gets done that day. Okay, sometimes Control-V just simply does not copy-paste. I don't know what it's doing or why it's not doing. But, you know, I want it to stop. You should do... okay, that hasn't been the first time that's been recommended, and I think the first time it was also recommended by you. Yet something you want to share with the class? Actually, on second thought, maybe don't. Okay, what's going on here? Oh no. Oh, wait. Crisis avert. Oh, wait. There's a fly buzzing around me and it's bugging me. It won't stop. Why not? For... Oh my gosh. This is gonna drive me insane. Whatever, I'll take it. That's gonna be clipping a little bit, but it's not that bad. Gotta go for a bit. Take it easy. Can't you copy paste a few of them at it? Hmm. Crazy technique that I just learned. I'm making your eye twitch. Oh, I'm sorry. To be fair, it was like legit on my eye, so I had to deal with the brunt of it, or whatever the saying is. Yeah, this is making me lose my mind. Oh, it's because the scaling is goofed. That's why. You guys ever watch the Goofy movie? Classic. Irrelevant to what I was talking about, but still. Not that that stopped us before, let's be honest. Oh, no. These need to be windows, not doors. Shoot. I'm giving you heartburn. I had a dream last night. You did a poll on what game we would play, but it was on YouTube for some reason. That was it. Wait, what do you mean it was on YouTube? I'm always on YouTube. Okay, wait. Question. Should this side of the school just be doors, and then this side is windows? It won't make a lot of sense, like, floor plan-wise, but it might make it feel... I don't know. Because otherwise, this hallway would maybe... Oh, we could put, like, one door here, I guess, because it doesn't have a door leading into this room. Oh, it was a community post. Just do it. Do what? I gave 2 options. You said yes to a multiple choice question. That would work. Scary monster after you in a hall with no doors. Make it make sense, especially otherwise I'll be mildly upset at you. Oh, sorry, it's 5 a.m. How dare you? What's the natural predator to a fly? Can I just, like, get a pet tarantula or something and then have that take care of the problem? Ooh, even better yet. Hold on, let me make sure I know where these are native to. In case I dox myself. Okay, they're in every state. Um... Squeamish warning for, people who don't like things with lots of legs. You wanna know what I found out? This thing scared me the first time I saw it, and then I looked it up, and I found out they're harmless, and they just kind of eat every single bug. But they're also just chill. The house centipede. Like, they definitely don't... They look intimidating. They don't look very friendly. But they don't do anything except eat other bugs. No, yeah, they're terrifying. But they're really good pest control. So I should just buy a couple of those, let them loose. You know, what could go wrong? You know what? Let's see what GPT has to say to that. I'm curious. I have a bug problem in my apartment. Is it a good idea to buy a bunch of house centipedes and let them loose to do their thing since they are harmless? Question mark. That's a creative idea, but it is not recommended to deliberately release house centipedes or any predator insect into your home for pest control. Here's why. Once released, centipedes will hide in walls, closets, and dark spaces. You won't be able to remove them easily later, and their population could get out of hand if conditions stay favorable. They don't eliminate infestations. House centipedes may eat cockroaches, ants, and spiders, but they won't wipe out an infestation. They reduce numbers slightly at best, but pests breed faster than centipedes can eat. While they're mostly harmless, they can bite if trapped or pressed against skin. Not dangerous, but unpleasant. A centipede population often means there's already plenty of prey, so you'd still need to fix the root cause. Okay. So scratch that plan. Maybe we should not release the house centipedes. Oh, Mela! You're right. What if I just get it? Okay, hold on. Let me propose that to GPT. What if I get a bunch of mice to catch the centipedes when they're done? Let's see what it's got to say to me. Short answer, bad idea. Don't introduce mice into your apartment as pest control. Mice are pests themselves. Animal welfare and legality. Deliberately releasing or keeping animals to fight pests can be cruel and may violate local housing rules or laws. What if after the mice are done catching the bug, I release snakes? I can't help with it. Okay, it gave up. I'm gonna stop before they call the police on me. They're gonna call my landlord. They're gonna look up like where I live. Look, you might not know it now, Houghton, but it is crucial to the lore of Rotted whether or not we can release snakes into a home. I missed a bunch of chat messages, by the way. Free protein. Nice. We get distracted. Haha. Hi. Hey, what's happening? So, Blue, allow me to explain. I was talking about how there was a fly buzzing around me. I was like, man, this is annoying. But you know what? Like, house centipedes catch flies. So what if I just buy a bunch of house centipedes and release them into my home? And so I asked GPT what it thought. And then it said not to do it. And then I said, well, what if I let loose a bunch of mice to catch the centipedes once they catch the flies? And then I said not to do it, because mice are a problem. And then I said, okay, hold on. What if I release snakes to catch the mice that catch the centipedes that catch the flies? This is what AI was built for. Oh, do we? Oh. What do you mean? One is an animal. The other is... No, they're different. What happened? I don't know. We were just discussing the lore. Oh, get this? How do you take care of a snake problem? Like, let's continue down this pipeline at least once more. Okay? Where did my toolbar go? Where did my toolbar go? What did I do? Okay, hold on. I need to look up how to get my toolbar back. Now, what would you use to catch snakes? Come on, audience participation time. Hotkey. Fire? Close. Ghosts. That's how the school became haunted. They had a fly problem. They set loose the centipedes to catch the flies. Then the mice to catch the centipedes. Then the snakes to catch the mice. And then the ghosts to catch the snakes. Genius. Okay, hey, I need that toolbar back, Unreal Engine. Where, can I get that back? Thank you. Hey guys, we're gonna finish in time. To be fair, that whole, like, snake tangent only took, like, what, 10 minutes? That's fine. It's like a break at work. But I was still working, you know? Fun fact, my English teacher gave up group project to perform drama, and now is Harry Potter the Chamber of Secret? Uh-oh. Full circle. Some truths are unavoidable, it would seem. Okay. It might be better to use this one for this. Good night, Mela. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Harry Potter's the Breaking Bad of Britain. I am curious, like, as an American, I'm used to, like, all of the American shows and stuff. I know that, like, one of the US's biggest exports is, like, media, like TV shows and stuff. So, like, what are some popular things that you guys know of that's, like, American? I guess I should stress American, like, entertainment. There is plenty that we do worldwide, but we'll stick to entertainment for now. You might break a bone? Whoa, wait, what? Why? Don't do that. Oh, stretch. Oh, that's mean, Basti. I can accept rudeness towards myself, but not each other. Don't make me bring Daisy back in here. You know what she'll do. I did the full Harry Potter quiz already, though. Twilight Zone is goated. Oh, what the? Okay. There we go. Was James Bond actually made by British people? Or did they just be like, it'd be funny if this guy talked in an accent? It's based on the guy who, Saruman, right? I feel bad for not remembering the actor's name. He seemed like a super chill dude. Ooh. Actually, hold on. I can fix this. Not an actor or a real spy during World War II. Wrote books about the... Let's see. Not based on a single person, but as a composite character by Ian Fleming from a mix of real-life secret agency encounter during World War II. Dusko Popov, Forrest Thomas, William Stephenson. Oh, Christopher Lee was the guy that I was thinking. But yeah, that might have just been misinformation. He was cool, though. Like, even just in Lord of the Rings alone. And Star Wars, I guess. But the prequels didn't do as much as Lord of the Rings did. Okay, and let's get these little door pieces that I made a while ago. And we can actually get the exact location I need it to be. Uh-oh. Take it easy, Basti. Enjoy the Wild West. These wall panels aren't lined up in the slightest. Hold on. Dang, even on like the most fine-tuned scaling, still too much. Oh, I didn't need this one. I did need this one though. See, like, why is this all kinds of scuffed? There we go. It's cleaned up a bit more. I really needed to, like, make these panels not suck. A lesson for next time, I guess. Like, I really needed to cut them out at the right size. I based them off of, like, this size and shape, rather than the size and shape of the door, which is really what I needed them for. Have a good one, Hoden. Enjoy your Tuesday. Do we have anyone left? Still sticking out. The last chatter. Oh, I turned off my flashlight. Let's get that back. Oh, this is not meant to be there. Let's do a roll call. All right, let's place a bunch of lights As a great man once said, let there be light. I'm placing these in no particular order. Nor do I even know if I'm centering them correctly. Whoa, you're on your 1-year anniversary? Nice. Or you will be soon. My channel is old as dirt. I think it's like... I want to say it's like over 10 years old. I don't know exactly. Let me see if it tells me. Ooh, yep, it's 11 years old. And look what we've accomplished in 11 years. That was me asking you for help. What have I accomplished in 11 years? I don't know. Bye, Jessica. Thanks for dropping by. Not as active as before, but I'll work out of care. Alright. Thank you, thank you. Have a good one. Enjoy your Tuesday. It's coming together. It's coming together. We don't have ceilings yet. At least not good ones. Oh yeah! Hey Cray! Sorry if I missed that message. I don't know how long you've been here, or if you've left already. I'm really bad at reading Twitch. This is a consistent problem. I need a... The easiest way to fix this, by the way, like the issue that I have is that I'm looking down here for messages, and when messages pop up here... Oh, perfect, perfect. When messages pop up here, I don't immediately see it, so I just need to like spam messages so that new ones show up right next to each other. But yeah, I'm doing Unreal Engine 4 because I really wanted this game to be playable in web browser, like this. And Unreal Engine 4.27 is the latest version that lets you do that. Technically, you have to like download a plugin to get 4.27 to work like that. But yeah, I really wanted to prioritize accessibility for this game. And so that's why I'm kind of working within the confines of that older engine. It still looks good, and it's still like super similar workflow as base Unreal Engine 5. So at least as far as I'm used to working with it. Hope you're having a good one. Appreciate you taking the time to drop in. As you might have noticed, as I was talking about it just a second ago, I dual stream. So if you see people talking, or if you see me talking to other voices, I promise they are not in my head. Most of the time. That's sick. I didn't realize Unreal Engine supported web dev. It did. I don't know why they dropped it for Unreal Engine 5. Probably for the other thing you mentioned. It just doesn't run well. And so they just took it out. Because there are some pretty heavy limitations Unreal Engine 4 gives you, as opposed to like Unity with its web dev. I prefer Unreal Engine over Unity, but I recognize when Unity, you know, when it does things better than Unreal Engine. I'm more than happy to admit that. But yeah, it's just you package project and for HTML5. The issue is, you can see up here, you lose a lot of like shaders when you do that. But especially if you're like a newer game dev, not you particularly, but just like you in general, anyone watching, it's not really something you'll notice because you likely won't be toying around with that kind of like higher definition shaders and particle effects anyway for your first game. And I think for like some of your earlier projects, it's always going to be better just to make it easier for people to play it and find your work than it is to like get every single possible feature out of the engine you choose as you can. Just my perspective, at least. I haven't been making games for too long. I am a C++ developer, like as my day job. So I have a good amount of experience and background with that. But when it comes to actually making games, it's really just been a hobby up till this point. And I'm trying to commit myself a bit more to doing it. I am kind of sad I didn't cut the shapes out correctly, but I guess it'll do for now. I weirdly feel Unity gives a bit more freedom in certain aspects. I feel stylized stuff is a lot easier in Unity compared to Unreal, whereas Unreal has more tools to make things easier. I'd 100% agree. I think Unreal has a very specific look to it. Unless you're like a AAA studio and you have seemingly endless resources to ensure your artistic vision is reflected in Unreal, I feel like a lot of games look very similar. Which isn't always a bad thing, because they usually look pretty good. But that's one thing that I think Unity can excel at a little bit more. I do like the accessibility with actual the programming logic in Unreal, because I have experience with C++. I wrote the character controller myself. It's got issues with it I still need to work out. It's quite long. But for a lot of people, C#, even though it's easier than C++ in my opinion, it's still intimidating to a lot of folk. And so something like this, and I've heard Godot does something similar. I've never tried Godot, but this visual scripting style I think is a little bit more accessible than text-based logic programming. There we go. I don't like stretching out materials like this, but this is, if anyone here is new, whether they are on YouTube or Twitch, I'm trying to get this done before Halloween, and I'm a little behind schedule. Usually I spend a lot of time ironing out the details and making sure things snap together perfectly. But for the sake of just kind of getting something that works and looks good enough, I'm cutting corners that I usually don't like cutting. I just pray for the day we see open source FOSS engine similar to Unreal merge what makes Unity and Unreal good. Yeah, I respect Unreal's monetization strategy more than I do Unity's. But I think that, like, I don't know, like, I think Unreal, or I guess rather Epic, might get to the point soon where they're making enough money off of Fortnite alone where they could afford just to make it open source and just, like, continue to improve upon it. Because surely they're not deaf to all of the criticisms people have of Unreal Engine. And I'm sure they're taking that into account as more and more AAA studios turn to them to make their games. Not that I think that it's a bad thing that AAA studios outsource the engine development work, because it saves on a lot of time, especially when you have an already mostly stable engine. But I do also respect when companies like Capcom just straight up make their own stuff in-house. That made an AI song about a pigeon. Add FNAF in it. I know Red Pixel's Unreal Fork is optimizing UE5 and bringing back old features like tessellation. Thanks, BlackRock. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good night. Or morning. It's currently 9 p.m. PST for me. Is it PST? PT, I guess. It changes all the time. Time zone's about to change once again. So, actually, I'm a bigger fan of the second time zone change. Whatever one we're about to go into, which I think is standard time. I like that more. It's kind of an unpopular opinion, though. Yeah, West Coast. I know the Red Pick... Oh, I already read that one. I think as more and more tools come out, more and more developers will start, like, working together to make stuff. Game development is becoming more and more accessible. And I think as more people dip their toes into it, we'll see bigger and bigger, like, open source projects result out of it. By the way, one thing I'll recommend, if any of you are interested in game development at some point, but maybe you don't want to start quite yet, one thing that I really do like about Epic Games and specifically Fab is, let me find this. Limited time free. So Unreal Engine Store, which is now Fab, which is used across multiple different engines, gives you 3 new assets per week to add to your library, and you can use these in your games, like this entire model. Like, you can import this into your game and just make a game out of this scene alone. And every 2 weeks, you can just check back, add these to your library, and then when you're finally ready to make a game, you'll have a whole library of plugins, models, and whatnot. So I'll send these links out to both chats if you're interested in checking that out. If you have an Epic Games account, you likely do, because you've probably played Fortnite or Fall Guys before. All you have to do is just sign in using that. Not sponsored by them in any way, but I just think it's really cool that they that artists, I would assume that the artists are willing to support the community that way by letting their work be used for free every so often. So it's just a really cool thing. I was working on some stuff for meta games. Oh, really? I like a lot of the meta games that I've played. My favorite one so far, which I don't know if it was made by Meta's in-house studio, but was the Resident Evil 4 VR remake. Obviously, they didn't do the base game of Resident Evil 4, but it is probably my favorite port of that game so far. It is so smooth. Especially for a VR game. And this is specifically for Meta Quest. I think Meta does more than just Quest games. I'm not super familiar with their game, honestly. I know Amazon also has studios of their own too, but not once have I heard of like what games Amazon Game Studios actually makes. Let me look that up. Because I see like job positions for them all the time. Amazon Game Studio releases. Have they made any like big titles? They did an Lord of the Rings MMORPG. Oh, they're making an MMORPG for Lord of the Rings. Lost Ark, New World, the Grand Tour game, Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair sounds familiar. Till Morning's Light, Lost Within, Tales from Deep Space. Huh. Cool. Amazon made New World. Oh, okay. Finally back again, haven't been able to watch. Hope you figured out the piano you're working on. Hey! I'm gonna pronounce... You know what? I'm gonna just call you Hart. Because I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of that first word. But, Eldunari, I think. Kind of. Let me show it off a little bit. And we're gonna pause the background music, because the piano puzzle obviously has music of its own. Oh, let me... if any of you are wondering why the textures are freaking out like that, I modeled a base floor plan, like a gray box version of what I want this to look like. It was initially going to have a second floor, but I didn't really... I feel like a lot of the rooms would have been unused, so I limited it down just to one floor. But by having these kind of overlap with each other, if I don't hide this in-game, it gives me that... it gives me that overlapping effect, which I don't want. There we go. The lighting and a handful of other things, you'll very easily know when something is still like a prototype, even though it's less than 2 weeks away. But yeah, this was the piano puzzle I was working on. I'm still trying to fine-tune some of the details a bit. There are some parts of the puzzle that are currently not here that kind of contribute to it a bit. But essentially it's just pattern recognition, or not recognition, but like it's a memorization game. Let me see if I can play along with it correctly. Someone earlier had recommended that I swap the measures played to the ones that have less notes in it, so it's a bit easier to actually do this section, and I think that was good advice. That's what I need to go back and do. I messed that up. But it would be something like that, where the music box goes silent for a bit, then you play your part, and your part is essentially, it tells you what it is at the very beginning there. And then it just loops. There's very little consequence for failure to that puzzle. But someone brought up that even though there's not really any consequence there, it can still just get frustrating if you take too long on it. So I think I do need to tweak that one a little bit. That music box I made, by the way, in Blender, and then I brought it over to Substance Painter. The material looks a lot better here in Substance Painter itself. I think it's just a lighting issue. I don't think I'm taking full advantage of the lighting in that room with the piano. So I might have to adjust that a little bit. But I really like how it came out. The idea behind this music box design, because you can see the little... I forgot what these are called, like the thimbles or something? And then the little actual part, the metal parts that click on it. The inspiration for this design came from an artist... Sorry about that loudness. Came from an artist on YouTube. Obviously much bigger than I am. Called Wintergarten. Probably butchering that pronunciation. But...
Now you only...
Advertisements. Give me a sec as I skip through this. And they'll pull it up on screen. This guy. And so I really liked how he had like this cog. We'll play a little bit of it here. How he had like gears going one direction and then internal gears going in opposite direction. I thought it looked so cool. And if any of you don't know what's going on here, there are like marbles up there. And they're like falling onto the instruments and playing them. Really cool artist, by the way. He's been working on that project for a very long time. And he's just been having fun with it, which I can only respect. Yeah, he's a really cool looking... Or, I don't know him personally, but he seems like a really cool dude. He's always very positive, and it's like, hell yeah. Like, I love that kind of vibe. The marble machine. Absolutely. I remember watching that video so long ago. And then he wanted to make a second one, which is the one that we showed off now, just a second ago. But then, you know, I think he'd overscoped a little bit, and he decided to cancel that one and kind of redesign again from scratch, which, you know what, I see that. I've made similar mistakes before with some of the things I've worked on for game development, where you kind of like have this very specific idea in your mind of how things should go, and sometimes you do more than you might be capable of at the time, which is fine. I feel like that's not something that you should, you know, that's not something that should stop you from continuing to work and continuing to get better. Because that was me in high school. I wanted to make a game back then, and Unreal Engine 4 was the new hotness on the block, and when I wasn't immediately good at it, because it was so confusing, I just stopped. But if I kept trying, like, and had been making games since high school, I probably would be much better than I am now. In fact, I know I would be. But I finally got back into it in college, because there was as a computer scientist, one of your electives was game development. I was like, oh, that's fun. That's more fun than, networking. And so I took it and had a blast. We used Unity as our engine of choice in that class, which was a lot of fun. We got to work in teams. We got to work solo. We got to do like multiplayer stuff. And I'm glad that the barrier for entry to develop games of your own is so low now. I think that all that will do is just make it easier for people to finally kind of, take their ideas and make something out of it. How did I do this on this side? Because this is a very bizarre shape. Okay. Actually, I might be able to cut and paste. Reuse some of my work here. Actually, let's undo that. Click these also. And then also this. And I hope that these will just line up automatically. let's bring this school back so I can see where the edges were meant to be. Looks like right here. And it's got like this weird shape to it. So if I just like get it to sync up with this door. And actually I don't need to sync it up with that door because then this would stick out too much. So I think right here is good. The issue though is that that's sticking out. So how did I hide it? With just this panel, I guess? Something like that. And then let's give us enough of the floor here. Oh yeah, I don't know how I feel about things like that. Like, I can understand using AI to help you understand concepts, or maybe to help you, like, figure out if there's a more efficient way to do what you're doing already. But just being like, hey, I want you to make an app for me. It's like, I don't know, because, like, on one hand, it's like, yeah, you do objectively increase productivity. But when it comes, like, I feel like utility apps, maybe, like if it's an app to, like, I don't know, keep track of your grocery list or something. Like, sure, why not? But if it's something like a game, I don't know, because I feel like that's what it'll be used for a lot. Is we already see asset flips, like, just flooding the Steam market, where it's like, oh, you know, someone goes to the, you know, the limited time free asset section, they grab it, and then put it into an engine and then sell it on Steam for $10. And I feel like we're going to see a lot of just AI slop games. And, you know, I'm sure we're already seeing it, but it'll just kind of keep getting worse. But in terms of, like, good uses of AI, I've got an excellent example for you. I mentioned that I've experienced with C++. And when I want to use an interface, I had started to do it the way that I'm used to using interfaces, which is just to kind of like make the base interface and then implement it the base C++ way. And then I was like, well, wait a second. Unreal Engine has a lot of helpers, a lot of harnesses and stuff. Is there something I could do to make this easier? And then I asked GPT and it said, yes, you should use Unreal Engine's built-in U interface option. It's almost exactly like the interfaces you know, but it lets you use them in blueprints. It lets you override them in blueprints or in C++. And that's exactly what I did for my interactable interfaces here. It didn't write anything for me, but it gave me knowledge that I could have found on my own, but it gave it to me much quicker than searching on Reddit. That's why it's important to read game reviews? Oh, absolutely. Valve is always on top of their game when it comes to just, like, anything that they do. But right now they've got a huge problem that I'm sure they're trying to figure out, which is, like, how do we make our platform accessible to new developers while still being a pleasant experience to people who come here looking for good games. Not the easiest problem to overcome, but I feel like Valve's overcome worse. So I believe that they can do it. Oh, this is not symmetrical in the slightest. What have I done? Okay. When you play the game, if you happen to, just don't notice that this is off. This is an asymmetrically shaped school. Thank you. Even back when I was like making this design in Blender, I got so far and then I realized that like if this is the front, this side of the school is just much bigger. And it got to a point where I didn't want to redo it. Like I said, I'm usually a lot more disciplined, but I'm making some exceptions. Okay, I'm making a lot of exceptions, I'll be honest. Just so I can get something playable and something fun out, hopefully by the time Halloween rolls around. Yikes. Hold on, I got this. And then here in like a minute or two, once we're done placing these walls down, I want to try making a character model, which I've never done before, at least not well. So that's going to be fun. Okay, hold on. I can make this work. I can make this work. Nice. Look at that. Just curious, but what do you do for a living? Coding? Yeah, so I'm a software developer. I'm just curious in case I need to pick up new skills so I can do something from home, and maybe you can give me advice about that field. Yeah, of course. Software development is easy. Well, it depends on if... I don't... Like, people say, like, left brain, right brain. It's a very analytical type of... I guess science field, or I guess career path, but nowhere near as intense as something like physics or mathematics or even electrical engineering, because it's very text-based and it's very logic-based. Let me see if I've got a good example here. It's not actually a good example I can come up with. Isn't going to be in this project. It's going to be in my main project. And if any of you are absolutely new here, this game I'm working on now is essentially, the past 2 years I've been making a much larger game. And it was taking so long, and I wanted to get something out for Halloween that people could play, but there wasn't enough of it done to make anything in any kind of playable demo or state. So I gutted a lot of what was working on this game, kind of built a new environment for it, and just gonna close it. I actually meant to open the solution instead. I gutted everything out of it and then kind of reused stuff to, like, essentially I took a slice of that bigger project and I'm serving that after decorating it up a little bit. But back to the point I was making about, like, what you might expect, at least for game logic, but really any project is going to kind of follow the similar kind of mental gymnastics. Let's see here. So a lot of this might look intimidating, but it's actually, like, very, very simple what's happening. You have something like this. This is just a function. So let's say I have an enemy, which is what this is, and I want just to execute a task, and this just happens to be the avoid fire task. And so that's what this is saying, is that when it calls the avoid fire task, it'll do this set of logic. But what's this set of logic doing? This up here is just saying I'm declaring a variable called flag, It's a Boolean, which means it holds either a 1 or a 0, so this will either be a true or a false. This is just getting a reference to my character. It looks like there's a lot going on. I'm getting, like, this isn't something you would be expected to know off the bat. Like, you'd usually look this up, or even easier, you would, like, grab this and then hit dot, and it would autocomplete a lot of these things for you. And then this, hey, does the thing that I'm trying to talk to exist? If so, I want to get this object out of it. And with Unreal Engine, this part is also a little bit of a learning curve, because Blackboard is an Unreal Engine exclusive thing. It's essentially the control flow. It's a list of data. But this is the part where the actual, like, code is happening. So it's just saying that this avoid fire one's actually kind of difficult. Let's do audio detection instead. Audio detection, same setup up there. This is saying that if it hears something, it's going to get the closest of the thing that it's hearing, and it's going to set it as its target. So it looks all complicated, and to some degree it is. And this is actually, I'm just probably not a good explainer here. That's a very, like, high level type thing. A lot of stuff that you might code is very rarely going to be you have to make something entirely new on your own, especially if you're working for someone else. It's usually something is existing and you want to add a feature to it or fix a bug. And so a good example would be like in my code base here, where, like, if my character, when he does a quick turn, isn't rotating the full length, it might be like, oh, I set this to 90 degrees instead of 180. And so I just change that value and then save it and build it. Again, not doing the best job explaining there, but I like computer science a lot. I think it's one of the easiest of the sciences. I am biased, however, so take that with a grain of salt. Very off topic, but I keep forgetting to ask and didn't generally know how to bring it up. But the empty poster board from the piano hallway, are you going to fill them up yourself, or could we design a few? Yeah, I wanted to post that in the Discord. Yeah, I will absolutely need help filling these up. And the intention here is that, let me show you the reference image. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. I need to, like, find some, like, school, or, like, make my own school posters to fill up in here. It's a high school. Like, that's the environment. So if any of you are interested and you want to, like, have a piece of something you've made in the game, I'm obviously going to change some of this because, like, this is just a drawing. It doesn't fit the vibe. So I'm going to kind of put the in-world filter over it. But if any of you are interested and you'd like to, I obviously have final veto if something I feel like doesn't fit the vibe. I kind of retain the discretion to not include it. But in the art tab here, in the Discord, is where you can submit things, and I'll take a look at it. It's why I'm interested in self-taught computer skills. Yeah, I would agree that you don't need to go to university or any kind of school institution to learn programming. Definitely not in today. What would you recommend I focus on as a complete beginner? Python, JavaScript, C++, something else. I'm abysmal with algebra, and I've read that especially important for C++. Thank you so far. Algebra isn't too important with C++. It depends on what you're doing in C++. C++ has... here's the best way I could recommend it to you. I would say if you're starting out, probably go Python. And the reason I recommend that is Python is incredibly powerful, and it's incredibly easy to set up. But that's part of the problem, is that there aren't a lot of guide rails, there aren't a lot of rules to things, It lets you just kind of do whatever without any structure, and there are times where you really do need that structure. But Python is one of the most widely used languages for any number of things. It is the quickest, in my opinion, to get into and start making stuff that's cool right away. My chatbot, Daisy, who's currently offline because she breaks things all the time, but she's in the Discord. She's online right now in the Discord. She's written in Python. And so if I say something really bad, let's see. She might remove it. Okay, no, she didn't care about that one. But I can check here under her log spam, and we can see that she considered that only a 0.02 harassment. If anything goes above a 0.5, I think she'll remove it. Hold on. Let me say this in let me type something in the channel that no one else can see to see if I can get her to trigger something. Yeah, there he goes. She got it. So that's Python. You can do a lot of cool stuff with Python directly. C++, on the other hand, is a lot more structured. That's what we're looking at here so far. But the thing is, with C++ is it is widely used, and not only is it widely used, it's been used for a long time. So there are projects back from like the 1990s that are still being used today that constantly need to be updated, that constantly need people to look at them and understand what the code is doing and update them and fix them. So I think between these two, having a good understanding of both makes you very well rounded. C# is good too. C# and Java are very similar. They're object-oriented languages. You can do some kind of object orientation with these ones as well. That gets into sorts of territories that I'm not super familiar with, if I'm being perfectly honest. But generally speaking, I always recommend people jump into Python because it's the easiest to set up. It's the most fun. I feel like you can do the most with it right away. But C++ for long term. Also because Unreal Engine uses C++, you can get started by using their visual scripting. And you have this entire virtual environment, this virtual world, to test things out in C++. Like test out physics engines and test out gameplay loops and just anything. It doesn't have to be exclusively a game. So, a lot of yapping, and maybe only 10% of that was useful answers, but I'm always happy to talk about it and provide whatever value that I can. I think this hallway's looking pretty good. There's a couple of issues with like pieces missing, and I think I'll probably just fix that another time. Within this last half hour, I do want to try to make a character model in Blender, which I'm not super good at doing. I'm also trying to see if like any of the clipping issues are immediately apparent. That's one of the reasons I'm walking through right now. Because like up there, there isn't an arch because it didn't line up correctly. Oh, that's like a shading issue. I feel like that's the. I feel like that's just because I'm looking at this in the preview window, not an actual buildable engine or buildable version of the game. Okay, I'm happy with a lot of what I'm seeing here. Let's see, what, 11 days left? I think so. I mean, this is basically where the whole game takes place. I need to finish the rooms, finish the puzzles, but a lot of that heavy lifting is already being handled by this character class. And so I just need to finish implementing it and smoothing out some of these edges. Yeah, of course. I think LinkedIn has a I think they've got like a built-in like knowledge check thing where it's like you can get a badge, like you can take a Python test on LinkedIn directly. And if you pass, you get a badge on your profile that says, "Hey, yeah, they know this enough for us to give them this badge." I'm not sure how much weight that carries, but it might be a thing where it's like, you know, maybe employers will filter candidates specifically that have those badges. Um, Something like that. Okay. Let's try to make a character. This is gonna go so well. I can already tell. Oh, let's make a new window because I don't want to close this. Let's see if I can get a what would you call that? Character T-pose reference. I just need the side shots. What are some of the proportions on these? Oh my god. I don't like some of these I don't want to use because I'm just gonna get like the YouTube video is gonna get taken down or something. Pose sheet, maybe? This is more promising, I think. Maybe I should type in mannequin. It's taking me a lot longer than I thought it would to find a good T-pose image. Um, I'm tempted to just grab the Unreal Engine model and like pose it and then just take 2 screenshots of it. Because these are just not good. Or at least they're not what I want. T-pose. Reference. He's not T-posing. Okay, Unreal Engine it is. I typed in too many words and now it's upset. Trying to find the female one because I'm trying to make a nurse like the one in like Lisa from Silent Hill. What's the size limit for the posters? Please don't make it a 4K image. It's gonna be like on an 8x11 sheet of paper, and so I mean you can kind of see here. Like what the paper looks like. But I mean they don't all have to be 8x11. Like you can have some like square or shapes. Just don't make them super high resolution is the thing. Okay, here we go. Where is she? Game characters, mannequins. Open a new window. The engine. No. Wait, where's game? Characters, mannequins. Meshes? But rigs. Ah, crap. I really should have seen what... What was my zoom in level? This viewport is really weird. I think that's it. Might have to do this a couple times, and I might have to do this offline and then just use one of the other... Oh, that's weird. It didn't copy the thing I was hoping it would. Okay. Go to GIMP. Oh, that's perfect. Nice. Okay. So we have the two individual ones. I'm going to just export this. I'd break my wrist if it was 4K, but okay, not too big and not too small. Yeah. Let's see. Side pose. .jpeg. And then front pose. .jpeg. Now we just drag those in. And it's gonna look weird until I fix it. There we go. Now, in terms of how far away they are, obviously if I do something like this, it'll matter. Or like this, they're different sizes. Or if I'm in the orthographic view. But if I'm in this view, it should be the same. I think. Yeah, there we go. So now I can add a cube. And let me just do this. Start with something like that. These joints are kind of weird. I don't know how I'm gonna best do this. Then I just also correct it on this side. There we go. And then the other tool that I learned somewhat recently is the bevel tool. So let's see if that makes these things any better here. Not a huge fan of how this is looking so far. This shoe, if you want to call it that, is definitely looking a bit odd. The other thing to do, instead of bevel on my own, is just to apply a modifier to it to see how it looks. Just generate. There is a bevel modifier which does this. And then I can increase the segments this way. Or I can also do a subdivision modifier. Subdivision surface. And it does that. Which is a lot closer to what I wanted to see. We have a leg. Cool. Well, that's good. I was worried that, like, just conceptually that this wouldn't work. But that actually doesn't look too bad. I had to get, like, clothes to work on it and stuff. Well, that's a different issue I'm gonna have to work out. Cool. I'm going to continue working on that offline, I think. I don't know if that's too particularly interesting, because it's a lot of just drawing lines a bunch of times. If any of y'all want to drop by again, that's going to be in 2 days, same time, same place, 7 p.m. PT. I'm going to continue working on the engine stuff. Probably going to do more actual programming and logic-based stuff, working on building out the puzzles a bit more. So if maybe you weren't super interested in what we were doing today, maybe check back again in a couple days. Maybe you'll like some of that stuff a bit more. But I think that is about it. So for everyone who happened to drop by tonight, I appreciate you taking some time of your night or morning to drop by and say hello, or just lurk and chat. You're always welcome to ask questions. But of course, you're always welcome just to sit back and lurk instead. Again, I'd like to have this done within the next 11 days. Whether or not I actually get there or not, we will see. I am cautiously optimistic. I've done more in less time. So that will do it for me for the night. If you want a link to that Discord, I know I've talked about it. It does have the time zone, or your local time zone of the schedule for the stream. But again, if you want to catch the streams, the easiest way to do that is just to follow the channel, or subscribe to it rather. And then if you happen to be looking for something to watch, and I happen to be live, I'm likely going to be recommended to you. Okay. Have a good night. I will see you in 2 days.